there at the end to pot. I'm pretty sure when push comes to shove, and he'll knock them in, given the chance.
Van Gilde, Fling 10, Kyren Wilson to Britain.
So O'Sullivan has won the last 3, and in 2 of those frames he's made centuries. Kyren Wilson under pressure, even though he's still in front. It's 5-4. Are we going the distance here?
Well, the crowd are getting behind him. That was a terrific long pot. And when Ronnie O'Sullivan starts knocking those in, you know that most parts of his game are starting to come together. Don't really think of O'Sullivan as being, you know, a comeback king in the same way that someone like Mark Selby has done it. And John Higgins has made great comebacks before. I remember here in Shanghai when he was way behind against Judd Trump, 7-2 at the mid-session and eventually won. You don't really think about O'Sullivan coming from 5-1 down or the like to win a best of 11 6-5. Of course, he's done it before, but it's not really his thing. But when he won the German Masters, he was 4-0 down in one of his matches. I think it might have been against Andrew Higginson, but whoever it was, 4-0 and a long way behind in the next. Ronnie beat him 5-4, went on to win. That was back in 2012 when Ronnie started to win everything again.
Yeah, that's right. So it was a huge match, actually, because, as you say, he won that and went on to win the World Championship as well afterwards.
13.
Yeah, it's hard to call that match a career-changing match, but it certainly got him back on winning ways. Well, that's not a good shot, is it? Surely. This cue ball seems to be way short of where he wanted it.
19.
Well, he scraped off the bunch very nicely. He's very close to this pink. I don't know whether he can pop this or not. I suppose he can. Because he's playing it, here we see the shot that's led to this. He's playing it at a sort of a thin angle, which means he's probably not going to play a push shot here. If it was straight, I don't think he could have played that shot there, you know. Recovered it well. Black goes to the right corner if he could get low enough off this red to pot it. Obviously not. I thought it was a bit too much angle on the red perhaps to get down for the black. Looks okay to me.
30.
Well, he's in now.
31.
Pretty much prime position at last. He's taken a few shots to get there.
Well, it's such a great first red.
38.
Just underlines the improvement in his game as the match has gone on.
39.
Again, not only playing better, but playing with great fluency. This break is mounting up very quickly.
$54. $55.
Playing on the loose red, that's a good shot. And the reason for that is if he puts red-black here, then it's a snooker's acquired situation again.
Well, this is pretty formidable stuff. It really is.
Well, it's proving to be the difference between the two players, Dave, isn't it? The power of scoring in amongst them. And of course, as I said before, that would apply to Ronnie O'Sullivan versus almost anybody. Not just the man who's sitting there hoping that he can beat him today.
Well, it's like he's flicked a switch. Crowd loving this now. He's going to be a big favourite, I think, going into the decider. Yeah, he's missed that one. So Wilson may play on here. It's 3 snookers. Just sort of hold off the express train for now.
Yeah, just take the sting out of things. Of course, he could somehow win the frame, but it seems at the moment unlikely. It was a pretty glaring error from nowhere from O'Sullivan. Just when you didn't think he would miss a black off the spot, it would be then.
Well, assuming it is a decider, as I say, the way he's come back, you make him favourite. But of course, the one change in dynamic in a decider is it's the first time the player who's recovered can actually win. We'll see. But Wilson, I think, will be grateful actually for this visit, regardless of what happens. Just to, as I say, just calm things down a bit.
Yeah, of course, the match that he did win against O'Sullivan springs to mind, doesn't it? In Belfast, where it's only best of 7, but he led 3-0. O'Sullivan came back with a barrage of centuries, 3 in a row. So everything was on him with him when he got into the decider. You know, he felt that just the irresistible force meant that O'Sullivan would win, but it's the point you make applied then. It does shift back a little bit, and Kyren Wilson won the decider, and that was the first match between the two players. He's not beat him since.
Well, it's the usual scenario. Keep the last red on.
Yes, and he should get one here, and it's a question of what we said earlier on, really, that
24.
one thing getting the snooker, but really he could do with the red on top of the green or next to a colour. That would make things a lot more difficult. The free ball comes into play.
24.
Well, he's not quite done that, has he? He's not quite made this the unhittable snooker. There is still a chance of a free ball, though. He has to be a little careful here if he misses this. I'll tell you what, I'm amazed he's played it in that way, you know.
Foul.
Goodness me, fancy
Kyren
that.
Wilson, 4, 3 ball.
I would have thought anything but that. If he's going to play that shot, why didn't he play it just hard enough to go past the red, somewhere down past the right middle pocket? Can't leave a free ball then, under any circumstances. The pace. He played that, made no sense.
Pink.
Well, he's nominating pink. Not easy, but out of nowhere a chance here. It looked over. O'Sullivan was sailing towards this frame, just missed on 69 out of nowhere to throw Wilson a lifeline. And he's knocked it in. What a great pot. He's got a chance here to steal frame and match. Incredible.
1.
Pots the black will be 33 behind with 35 on. So he would need pink or black off the last red. This needs to slow up. It needs to slow up.
8.
Well, mentioned his cue ball letting him down, but in fairness, that was not an easy positional shot. And he has got a shot at the red at least. The cue ball just travelled a ball's width too far. But he's still on the red, as you can see from Hawkeye. The other factor is, of course, he can't just punch this in and play on the green. It's high value colour required. 33 points, so pink or black with this. Not an easy shot that. It may not have looked too difficult, but it's the kind of shot you can miss thick. Now this is a cueing shot. If this goes in, the frame is over. It already should have been.
Ooh, and he's not happy. Punches the table.
Well,
Wow.
you can understand it. It's a shot that when he was, if he was at his best, he wouldn't miss.
Well, I think also it's the fact that we've come this far in the frame. The frame should have been over, and he's not guaranteed to get another shot now. Another chance for Wilson.
It's all too much for him at the moment, Dave. All too much for him.
Yeah, it's the sort of ball you'd expect him to knock in if there wasn't this pressure on, but there's huge pressure on.
Well, Ronnie, just a little grit of the teeth there. And he's got to keep his head on here, because the shot really is to get in behind the black and take the red up the table. But if he gets it wrong, the red goes worryingly near the pocket. And that's the shot. And he's played it very well, actually. But he was right to be watchful on that. He probably should have been on that snooker escape. It's a very sloppy shot to leave a free ball, even if he misses the pot. Anyway, it didn't cost him. Of course, the worry for O'Sullivan here, Dave, is that the colours are all on their spots, you know, technically. Whoever pots this red is likely to win the frame.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Wilson had a great chance there on the last red. And it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who knocks in the last red. He made a meal of this frame in the end, but it looks like he's won it now. So it looks like a decider.
Yes, he's got away with one there, Dave, and I wonder if that actually, in a strange way, will kind of make him feel a little bit better that maybe today is his day, because he missed that black off the spot. Then Kyren, you know, if it had gone in, he wouldn't have had any sort of more negative thoughts, but you know, he had a chance of his own since then, so maybe it hurts even more now, the way it's been won and lost.
Well, I think he thought it was over, didn't he? Punched the table when he'd left the chance at the last red, but Wilson didn't knock it in. Pressure has come to bear here. Kyren Wilson's 5-1 lead has been wiped out. A very dramatic frame that O'Sullivan on another day could have lost.
17.
But he's still here fighting for a place in the semi-finals. It's all going to be on the last frame.
22.
Just wait for the
28.
applause from the O'Sullivan fans, and there's plenty of them here when this black goes in.
35.
Their man has taken us the distance. It didn't look likely at 5-1. Wilson will rue some missed chances, not least in that frame.